Continuing with Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules from Life, this is from rule number 10, be precise in your speech. This is a hanger. Sorry, kitty. You and I are simply only when the world behaves. You and I are simple only when the world behaves. When things break down, what has been ignored rushes in. When things are no longer specified with precision, the walls crumble and chaos makes its presence known. When we've been careless and let things slide, what we have refused to attain to gathers itself up, adopts a serpentine form, and strikes, often at the worst possible moment. It is then that we see what, with focused intent, precision of aim, and careful attention protects us from. Imagine a loyal and honest wife suddenly confronted by evidence of her husband's infidelity. She has lived alongside him for years. She saw him as she assumes he is, reliable, hard-working, loving, dependable. In her marriage, she is standing on a rock, or so she believes, but he becomes less attentive and more distracted. He begins, in a cliched manner, to work longer hours. Small things, she says and does, irritate him unjustifiably. One day she sees him in a downtown cafe with another woman, interacting with her in a manner difficult to rationalize and ignore. The limitations and inaccuracy of her former perceptions become immediately and painfully obvious. Her theory of her husband collapses. What happens in consequence? First, someone emerges in his stead, a complex, frightening stranger. That's bad enough, but it's only half the problem. Her theory of herself collapses too, and the aftermath of the betrayal, so that it's not one stranger that's the problem, it's two. Her husband is not who she perceived him to be, but neither is she, the betrayed wife. She is no longer the well-loved, secure wife and valued partner. Strangely enough, despite our belief in the permanent immobility of the past, she may never have been. The past is not necessarily what it was, even though it has already been. The present is chaotic and indeterminate. The ground shifts continuously around her feet and ours. Equally, the future, not yet here, changes into something it was not supposed to be. Is the once reasonably content wife now a deceived innocent, or a gullible fool? Should she view herself as victim, or as a co-conspirator in a shared delusion? Her husband is what? An unsatisfied lover? A target of seduction? A psychopathic liar? The very devil himself? How could he be so cruel? How could anyone? What is this home she has been living in? How could she be so naive? How could anyone? She looks in the mirror. Who is she? What's going on? Are any of her relationships real? Have any of them ever been? What has happened to the future? Everything is up for grabs when the deeper realities of the world unexpectedly manifest themselves. Everything is intricate beyond imagining. Everything is affected by everything else. We perceive a very narrow slice of casually interconnected matrix, although we strive with all our might to avoid being confronted by knowledge of that narrowness. The thin veneer of perceptual sufficiency cracks, however, when something fundamentally goes wrong. The dreadful inadequacy of our senses reveals itself. Everything we hold dear crumbles to dust. We freeze. We turn to stone. What then do we see? Where can we look? When is it precisely that we see that has been insufficient? That was from Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules from Life. That was from rule number 10, be precise in your speech. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a nice night.